This will be for the con assignment, quadrilateral problems on the coordinate plane. So here they ask, does coordinate S or coordinate T represent a greater number in the following parallelogram? Okay, so remember, when you list the coordinates, I'll do it in a different color here. When you list the coordinates, the X value is the first number and the Y value is the second one. Okay, same here. The X value is the first one and the Y value is the second one. So both S and T represent the X coordinates of their respective points. All right. Now remember, on a graph, the left-right portion of the graph is the x-axis, okay, and the up-down portion is the y-axis. But since both of our coordinates represent the x value, we don't have to worry about the y-axis, all right? And of course, we also know about the x-axis. When you travel to the right, that is in the positive direction, and when you travel to the left, that is in the negative direction. All right. So clearly we can see, if you compare this point here to this point here, this point is clearly more to the right of this point, which is more to the left. Okay. And since to the right is positive, the value for T has to be greater than the value for S. All right. So we know that T is greater than S. And if you look at the answers, it just asks, does S or T represent a greater number? Well, we said T is greater than S, so T is the greater number. So here we're given rectangle ABCD, and they give us the coordinates for points A, B, and C. They want the coordinates for point D. All right, so of course we have the x-axis going left and right, the y-axis going up and down. All right, so since this is a rectangle, all right, the x-coordinate for point A is going to match the x-coordinate for point D. Okay, if you take a look at this side of the rectangle, DA, they both match the x-coordinate. All right, this is the x-axis. So if the coordinates for point A are 2, 1, or the x-coordinate for point A is 2, the x-coordinate for point D is also going to be 2. And now, again, we're looking at point D. Okay, the y-axis is the up-down part. And if you drew a line like this, you can see that the y-coordinates for point D and point C both match. Okay? And the y-coordinate for point C is 6. So it's 2, 6. Whoops. I put them both in the same box by accident. Okay, the first box is for the X. The second box is for the Y. Okay, again, they gave us a rectangle, and they are asking us the length of side CD. All right, so we're looking at the distance from C to D. Okay, now you can use the distance formula if you like, but as you can see, when you subtract the x's, -4 minus -4, you're just going to get 0, okay? So really, the length of CD is just going to be the absolute value of the difference of the y coordinates. So it's just going to be 6 minus -5. Okay, and 2 negatives in a row make it positive. 6 plus 5 is just 11. All right. So if you have the x coordinates matching, in order to find the distance, you can ignore that point and just subtract the other 2 points and take the absolute value, because the distance or length is always positive. All right. And again, they're asking which number is greater, A or B. All right, let's see. A is the x-coordinate of this point. Okay, and remember the x-axis is how far left or right. So the x-coordinate of this point is going to match the x-coordinate of this point, okay? Because if you trace these points to the x-axis, it's going to be the same coordinate. All right, so A equals 6. And now, if you take a look at B, that is the y-coordinate. Okay, and remember the y-axis is how far up, down. And if you take this point and trace it to the y-axis, you see it also is going to match the y-coordinate of this point, which is 4. So B equals 4. Clearly, we can see A is greater than B because it's 6 versus 4. So A is the greater number.